welcome everyone here to News Now. Live look at the U.S. House floor. And don't worry, they are not talking about articles of impeachment. Why? Well, they will not be sent today, but we're getting a better understanding of when they just may be. Welcome everybody to News Now, bringing you the top stories and headlines from across the country. Mike Pace here alongside Ron Hoon on a Friday where, Ron, we thought, well, maybe there's a chance today that Nancy Pelosi would get on the floor and send these articles of impeachment over. She was on the floor today.
Yep.
Talking about environmental stuff, though.
You're right.
It wasn't what we expected.
She had our rapt attention, that's for
Yes.
sure, because everybody was focused in, would she make the big announcement? Here come the articles of impeachment. She did not do that. But there were enough sort of signals. You know, the headline came out last night. We had talked about it very early this morning that she was going to send them, quote, soon. So we were in standby mode. Didn't happen. And then just moments ago, we got the word that she will send them, quote, next week. Now, it's still not clear what the dragging of the feet ultimately is going to accomplish, because even though I don't know a whole lot about the way Washington works, Mike, I do know one thing. In the Senate, they don't like to be told by the House how to do their business.
That's true.
And that includes a lot of Democrats
That's
over
right.
there. So, Speaker Pelosi had been saying, I'm going to hold these things up till I get some assurances that the trial's going to run the way I want it. Mitch McConnell said, look, I got the votes to run it. And by the way, we're going to run it roughly the same way the Bill Clinton impeachment trial ran. That seemed to be good enough, for some fence-sitting Republicans, and frankly, to keep enough Democrats happy as well, that there really was, I don't see what else was left for her to gain by just continuing to hold on to it. The only thing, I mean, if you had looked at it from the long view, Mike, would have been possibly, if she could have held it for a few more weeks, it would have at least allowed all these Democratic senators who are banking so much on two states, Iowa and New Hampshire, to get the amount of campaign time in that they need. Right now, even Cory Booker said it yesterday. He said this would be a, quote, big blow to my campaign if this impeachment starts here in the next week or so, which is exactly what's going to happen.
Oh, right, yeah. So they were talking about the I word so much this week, but it wasn't impeachment, it was Iran.
Yeah, I know.
So that's what really threw another monkey wrench in everything as well. I want to bring up this Chad Program just tweeting this out, Capitol Hill reporter for Fox News.
Okay.
He says Pelosi tells House Democrats that McConnell says, quote, he showed his true colors and made his intentions to stonewall a fair trial even clearer by signing on to a resolution that would dismiss the charges. A dismissal is a cover-up and deprives the American people of the truth.
Wow.
So that just being put out there right now.
Interesting.
So the little back and forth between the House and Senate leaders.
Hey, look, it was Brett Baer. We talked about this, a couple of weeks ago, who said, don't be surprised if it comes, the very first thing, once it's handed over from the House to the Senate, if the first motion is just simply a motion to dismiss. I still find it very hard to believe that would happen. But that's really interesting. If what she's saying is true, that Mitch McConnell has signed off on that plan, wow. We'll see, Mike. We'll see what happens. I still believe they're going to run a trial. It probably will be a pretty quick trial. I don't think it's going to be run to the way that Democrats have been asking for, but then Republicans on the same hand would say, we felt like we were mostly kind of left out of the process on the House side.
And it doesn't seem either like President Trump will get his big gem moment with the trial that he really, really wants. Hunter Biden, whistleblower testifying. Doesn't seem like that's going to be in the cards here.
And you know why, Mike? Because remember, Lindsey Graham has just become the guy. Maybe he'll be again in 2020, but in 2018 and 2019, he was Mr. Quote Machine.
He was.
And what did he say about a month ago? He said, my advice to the president would be this. If somebody's ready to acquit you, let him.
Yeah, right. Just let it get over
So
with.
it probably, I actually think they will not dismiss. That's my prediction, that they will actually move forward with the trial, but it'll be a speedy trial. And I think we know the way it'll come out.
Yeah, and after that, how fast, right after the acquittal, Ron, would you say the Democrats come together and say, this was a sham. This was not a trial. This is not the way that was set up. How fast do you think the positioning would go? Because it's all about the way, in Washington, just how you convey the message, right?
Well, I would
it's
say,
all
Mike,
about a message.
The question is, how many seconds would there be between the gavel coming down and the mic going live to Chuck Schumer? I mean, we know there's going to be some anger, no doubt about it, on the left, but it's very interesting to me. Bernie Sanders had a quote out there while he's been busy campaigning for the last few days, and he's one of the senators who's going to be now busy for. What if it runs a week to 2 weeks? That's reasonable, isn't it?
That is very.
Well, these next 2 weeks are about the most important. Bernie Sanders, I think, believe it or not, is the one senator who could probably get through all of this without it impacting his numbers much at all. His base of support is so strong. Right, built in 16, still strong in 20. In fact, it seems to have expanded. I don't see them going anywhere. But as everybody else jockeys for position, we're talking about Elizabeth Warren here. We're talking about Cory Booker. We're talking about so many of these senators who, like an Amy Klobuchar, it's pretty close to make or break for her, right?
It really is.
In Iowa.
It really is.
So it is, if they have 2 weeks where they now need to focus on this and they can just get out there for a quick weekend event here or a weekend event there, that really changes the equation, I think.